He's
Says he's
connecting
still
his
connected.
audio.
There he is. You're live.
Oh, I can
There
hear
he
you
is.
all now.
KennyBob, Tom McKay, 3D Politics. Nice to meet you over the Zoom. Do you know David Van and David Oldham already?
Hey, yes, sir, Tom, and a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for joining us. We just got off the phone with Brian Hobbs out there in Newkirk, Oklahoma. And so we're welcoming you to the show on a special Thursday night edition of 3D Politics. Tell us what's going on. Now, I have the big question burning in my mind. I think I heard somewhere, you can correct us, I believe it's Boise City in Idaho, but it's Boise City in Oklahoma. Is that correct?
Yes, it is Boise City. Yes, sir.
Boise, there it is.
And is
Final answer.
And it's not Butte, Oklahoma, but Booty.
There you go.
Is that what I heard the other day?
Boise.
In
It's important.
I mean, I listened to the entire thing that you were subjected to the other day at the election commission or the election board.
Absolutely, Dave.
And so I heard names of cities that were pronounced differently than I ever would have been.
So, KennyBob, tell us what's going on out there in your part of the world.
Well, Tom, a couple weeks ago was actually the last day of filing. It was kind of a last minute or a last few days decision, but just some of the things going on in the world and the state, we decided to jump in and run for House District 61.
Good.
So that is all three Panhandle counties. It's Ellis County, a little sliver of Woodward County, and Harper County, and I believe the largest geographical House district in the state of Oklahoma.
Wow.
So we are running for state house, and got a lot of excitement, and got even more excitement after the hearing. People got mad about what happened, and I'm seeing people who want to get involved now that have never been involved in
KennyBob, let me set this up. Now, you have the filing, and then there's an opportunity if a candidate feels that another candidate is not qualified, they
Sure.
can file a challenge. Now, they have to put up $250 and then have the sheriff serve you papers. And then if you want to defend yourself, you got to put up another $250 as well, right? And pardon?
Oh, I'm sorry, David. Yeah, I was agreeing with you. That's correct.
Good. Take us from there. Then what happened next?
Well, we got the summons, and so I'm trying to get my day straight here. Been a long day, long week, but yeah, I think it was Tuesday. We went down. We went in there. My wife and I showed up before 8 o'clock, and then we went in at 8, and got with our attorney, got him the papers he needed, and so we waited, and we were the last case on the docket, case 8, and so we were. I think I kind of lost track of time, but my lawyer kind of reminded me how long we were in there. I think there were some cases that went for over 2 hours at least. Our case went over 3.5 hours. We started about 5:30 and ended, I think, after 8.
Yes.
I can't even
remember. 2.5 hours, yeah.
Yes. Now that, do you remember 2 years ago, the last election cycle, Gentner Drummond challenged our own Attorney General, Mike Hunter, over qualifications for residency, and the election board judges decided as long as you're registered to vote in that district, then you count. That's essentially, was that case not brought up as precedent by your legal counsel?
No, David, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
But he mentioned the representative. There was a representative earlier. He'd mentioned that case. I'm trying to remember the representative's name, McDougal.
Yeah.
And my attorney brought up his case, but I wish I had remembered that Gentner Drummond deal. I completely forgot, David.
Yeah, because most of the last 5 years that it requires that he be a resident, he was living in the DC area. You know, but he kept his voter registration here, and they decided, well, if you're a registered vote here, then that's fine. And so I don't even know why it was even a matter of dispute or executive session on yours.
No, I mean, I've participated in all my political issues for well over a decade.
Oh, we know that.
Oh, yeah. Property rights issues, etc. In Cimarron County, we've had local things happen here, and we've been involved with community, a bunch of stuff. And my family's been born and raised here. I guess the only thing I'm guilty of is spending many nights across the state line, but that wasn't. But they saw that and they rolled 3-0 in our favor. But I mean, I have filed taxes for years. I pay taxes here, registered voter, and I'd read the laws and I visited with people, and I felt very qualified under Oklahoma state statute which governs what qualifies a state representative candidate. And most of my time is spent in Oklahoma at our H3 box.
Well, let me ask you this. You're very active in the Republican Party of Oklahoma and in leadership in the party. I believe you're a member of the state committee, are you not?
I was for several years. When you've seen me there, David, I've carried proxies the last few years. But yeah.
As you know, I'm one of the representatives from Tulsa County on the state committee, and we kind of have a pretty set rule. When you're a party officer, you need to stay neutral in primaries. That's just a good matter of principle. But yet our state legal counsel became legal counsel for your opponent in this. Did he not?
Indeed. He did, David.
Has there been any discussion about that? Did that meeting protocol? What was his deployment towards you personally?
Oh, I mean, it was toward the end. He was gloating and thought he was going to win, and we didn't know absolutely what the outcome was going to be. But I overheard him in a phone conversation. I mean, I think he was making sure he was talking loud enough that he could hear it, because he said, "Oh, Kenny Tapp is scared," and then my attorney messed up on this and that or what, something to that effect. And he said, "We won," and so he was grinning like a Cheshire cat. But I mean, other than that, there was a time where I was walking somewhere in the halls and he let me go, or I opened the door for him. We weren't hostile toward each other or anything, but then there was definitely an interesting issue when we were 2 out from being heard. He came over and spoke with our attorney, and basically said, if KennyBob steps out now and doesn't go before the hearing, there are definitely people in the Oklahoma Republican Party that want to see him gone. After he's gone and no longer participates. And then he told my attorney that but I'm willing to put in a good word for KennyBob, basically, and sure that he stays there if he steps out now and basically doesn't go before the hearing. And AJ looked tired, and I guess he was. I assumed he was ready to go home. I mean, he'd done a lot of pacing, but it was, that really struck me as odd and unbecoming someone in his position. I personally felt like, as you mentioned, David, he's the attorney for the OKGOP, conflict of interest.
Yeah, KennyBob, I've been involved in the Republican Party since the 80s in Oklahoma, and I've had those threats given to me several times, and they don't mean anything. The fact is, you can be everybody's friend, and then 2 years later, you're everybody's enemy, and it just cycles like that. That's just the nature of party politics. But why was it an important question in the discussion, in the hearings, that AJ asked you, Mr. Ferrati asked you, what you mean by deep state? Was he just trying to prejudice them against you?
Yeah, and I was under oath, and he handed me the statement, so I definitely read it, and I knew that's probably going to happen. But yeah, and so AJ said, well, let me think here for a minute. So he made me read it, and then I got down to the deep state part, and he said, so do you consider, I can't remember if the question was every bureaucracy or bureaucrats or whatever, the deep state? And I said, no, I don't believe that every bureaucrat or every bureaucracy is part of the deep state. I mean, I would say there's probably, I didn't say that there, but I would personally believe there's, definitely members who are part of the deep state, but no, probably not even most in Oklahoma are part of that. But
sure.
Anyway, and then he said, well, would you say that the election board is part of the deep state? And I said, absolutely not, AJ. I mean, so yeah, I definitely suspect, I mean, he's an attorney. He was working against us. So I think I would assume, right?
Did he follow it up with, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Well,
sounds like a standard.
Just as an aside, you might, if you ever get to ask that question again, you just say that Bastiat thought that the bureaucracy was the deep state. He wrote a book on it.
No, absolutely. And,
my.
But
let me tune everybody back in. If you're just now joining us, we are on a special 3D Politics live on Facebook book version. We've got KennyBob Tapp on the line tonight, a special interview to find out what's going on out there in Boise City, Oklahoma. And what have you got for us in the future? What's headed for the future there, KennyBob?
Well, I've actually been working today. I definitely plan on getting to work very soon on the campaign. Already began to make calls and reach out to supporters. We've had to reach out, so we're looking to hit it very hard. But happening in Boise City, we finally got some rain the other day. We've been we were several years, and we were last year and the year before, we felt like we were fixing to get out, and then we had a long dry spell again. So hopefully the spring rains will continue. That's essential to our way of life out here. It's primarily agriculture.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on in the campaign, the primary is definitely June 30th. So we're gonna make calls, do a lot of door knocking and mailing.
Right.
So.
Very good. Van, got a question?
Yeah, you're every bit a part of Oklahoma than any of the rest of us are. The Panhandle is a beautiful and very scenic area, and I love it. Having said that, you live closer to the capital of Colorado and the capital of New Mexico, don't you?
Yep. Actually closer to Santa Fe and then Denver, which I've never actually been to the capital of Colorado.
Wow.
Denver. I've been through Santa Fe several times visiting family back west, but
yeah. So what are the issues that you're particularly running on, the things that the people of your district are most concerned about?
Absolutely. Well, I am definitely a property rights champion, and that's very near and dear to the hearts of folks out here. Ensuring that we can continue to operate unregulated. We have seen efforts in the past where like public partnerships, etc., for possible zoning efforts that we've defeated. So always on guard there, and I'm when we go to Oklahoma City and represent the will of the people, that will be one of the things foremost on my plate. And I am actually very ardent supporter of life. Not everybody agrees, but I am an abolitionist, and I was very active this year in the SB 13 effort. We saw as many as almost 3,000 people show up compared to right around 1,000 last year. So that will probably be one of the first measures that I author in the House, and then we need to shore up anything for property rights. David, I am people out here definitely don't like seeing their taxes go up. So I've been a major supporter. I was not pleased at all, and helped in the petition effort against House Bill 10XX, and that was sold to us. And a lot of our teachers saw through that out here, but I mean, not everybody, but a lot of the ones I talked to saw through that it was a scam. And I heard from and I'm not trying to bunny trail too much, but I heard from a teacher. Her husband are in agriculture, and they struggle to keep their farm going and everything. But as far as she would have to drive every day to go teach, and then what those taxes would be taken in on fuel, whatnot. She said she wasn't really going to see benefit from the teacher pay increase, and I think that's kind of a reoccurring theme. I think we would see in the Panhandle that in the long run that didn't affect a lot of or benefit a lot of teachers, but it excuse my language, but screwed the people of Oklahoma overwhelmingly. So I will absolutely never vote for a tax increase, and that may not be popular with some, because I've told people that position, and they said, well, you got to keep things going, and well, I am a proponent of streamlining government, and I would look forward to working with Nathan Dahm, and I know he's got a lot of great ideas, and people like him. So
sure. Well, I want to say this: having grown up in a rural area of my home, my native state, Minnesota, Hubert Humphrey came to visit one day, the famous former vice president, and he said to a group of farmers that I was hanging with my dad, hauled me out to all these political things. That's why I got this bug. It's from my dad. And Hubert said, you know what? He says, when it comes to getting reelected, the people back home don't care what you know. They want to know that you care about them. And that's the way Hubert always talked. And I think that's very true, especially in a rural district that you want to represent, is that you know the people. You might not know all the workings of the complexities of state government, but knowing your people, would you not agree?
Absolutely. Definitely know for the most part what drives us out here. I've been in one of the key industries out here all my life. That's the ranching industry, or agriculture. And so definitely what affects us, what makes people sick. And so absolutely.
Very good. Oldham, you got anything else?
No, I think we're good.
KennyBob, you got how do people get in touch with you? They want to help you out in your campaign. What should we tell them?
Hey, absolutely. And David, we're definitely not going to be receiving contributions from the dark money groups. In fact, they're actually, I'm presuming probably within the next week, we're going to see all kinds of mailers against us with all kinds of information. So yeah, they can definitely go to www.KennyBobTapp, that is KennyBobTapp@yahoo.com, and it's going to be vital to get our message out. I always hate to ask my friends and family for money. I mean, I'm one of those that likes to get things done. That at the same time, to run a campaign and get your message out and be effective, especially when you have deep state establishment money flowing in overwhelmingly against you. I got to get that message out, and we're hoping to get some mailers out there then. So if they're interested, I believe there's a button in there they can click to volunteer. Most importantly, your prayers. All my fellow believers who are Christians or Messianics, Hebrew. We're definitely a family, and I appreciate your prayers.
Sure.
And then there's also a donation button there, and we appreciate anything. I know times are hard, but heck, if 1,000 people give $20, that'll definitely get our message out a couple times. So.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm disappointed. Just a second, Oldham. You didn't plug your blog, and you've been one of my longtime blogging partners on Sooner Politics. Tell us about your blog, Kenny Bob.
Oh, what's that, David? I missed that.
You've been a blogging partner with me for years. Tap into Common Sense. Got to give them that plug too. Come on.
Yeah, and check out. And I've not been as active as I should be there lately, David. But yeah, check out Tap into Common Sense, and I just Google Tap into Common Sense. It's TAPP. It's a WordPress actually.
Yep.
Space INTO space COMMONSENCE. So, long day.
You go to the next round of the spelling bee. Exactly. And also, you're one of the analysts on Sooner Politics. They can always go to SoonerPolitics.org, find Kenny Bob on the analyst page.
Well, and I have a question. It's more for you, David, because I know Kenny Bob doesn't want to have to address this because it's not good politics. But what were if you remember, do you remember his opponent's Liberty score this last go round? Do you remember where he was at?
That's a good point. I might need to bring that up here real quick. Patskowski, I don't think he made the honor roll. I can say that.
He wasn't in the cards, was he? I don't think he was in the cards.
Right. That would be the honor roll, made the deck of cards. But I'll pull that up for you in just a second here. So.
Okay.
Kenny Bob, we do appreciate you taking the time to touch base with us here on a special 3D Politics Thursday Night Live episode. Again, for the listeners and viewers, we got David Van, SoonerPolitics.org, and David Oldham from ConstitutionalGrounds.com. I'm Tommy McKay right here, 3dpoliticslive.com. Before we, also, Kenny Bob, before Brian Hobbs, Mayor Hobbs got out of it, he said, make sure and tell Kenny Bob I said hello. So there you go. Hello.
Thank you. Hello, Brian.
What do you got, Van? What'd you find out?
He did not make the honor roll. I tell you what, most of them who wouldn't have had a good year because of the kind of bills and the excess money that we had, a lot of them got a much better score than I think they're going to get this year. Would you not agree, Oldham?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For just about everybody this year.
Yeah, I'm pulling that score up right now. It's trying to load. Here we go. Freedom Index, all scores. This is
drum roll, please. Yeah.
Patskowski, let's pull him up. He didn't even make, I don't think he made 50 out of it. Let me get down here. Oh, there he is. He's got 40. 100 was the tops. In fact, Nathan Dahm got 110, just to prove us all wrong. But Patskowski got a 40. He did not make the honor roll. He didn't even do as well as Speaker McCall.
Elvis made it to 47. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Kenny Bob, we appreciate you being here. We're going to let you go. If you're ready to go, we'll head you out of here. We look forward to seeing you in the future, and good luck in the future.
Hey, thank you, Tom, and David, appreciate everything.
Great.
Thanks for being here.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for coming. All right.